From inside historic Doyle Field, we say a very good Saturday morning to you, as once again it is another brunch of a Saturday, and it means it's girls lacrosse here on Rivalry Family Media. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for RFM, and welcoming those of you joining us from all around the world, including those of you in Leominster and Marlborough. As you come to this broadcast today, Leominster comes in with their 2-2 overall record. Meanwhile, the Panthers from Marlborough off to a bit of a struggling start, 0-2 in this early yet modified spring 2021 season. For the Panthers, as we said, opened with the 2 straight losses, back-to-back Thursdays, a loss to Tingsboro, the undefeated Tingsboro team. The Tigers up there in Tingsboro, off to a fantastic 4-0 start, clearly the class of this division. 14-8 was that opening day loss. And then a loss to Littleton for Marlborough on Thursday this week by a 10-8 score. Meanwhile, for Leominster, it's been a little bit of up and down as the weeks have gone by. Opening loss to North Middlesex by a 15-14 score. Last Saturday here on RFM, a 15-7 win over Littleton. Then they went out and battled Tingsboro on their home turf, a 12-8 loss for the Blue Devils in a difficult game, and then follow that up with a 15-4 win over St. Bernard's this past Wednesday, leading to Leominster's 2-2 overall record at this point and time. We'll get to opening introductions for the Panthers and the Blue Devils coming up in a matter of moments, but first, Bill Thomas, here we go. 2-2 Leominster, 0-2 Marlborough. The Panthers, we saw the other day on the boys' side of things, were distinctly younger. The Panthers that we're going to see here today from Marlborough on the girls' side are significantly older and more experienced. They're just off to a rough start.
Yeah, and I think their experience is showing more so probably on the defensive end. They haven't had any trouble scoring goals, but it's the inability to limit goals on defense, I think, that's really hampering their record and holding them at 2-2. They very easily could be 4-0 with the offensive output that they've had, but just got to toughen up a little more in front of the netminder and work on that clearing, and then get the ball out of that end, and I think that'll lead to more success.
And Kate, that is a great point on Bill Thomas's end. Of course, offensive production has come in bunches for Leominster. They have found their ways to pile up the points and quickly, and that is certainly going to be important again today. Off to a fast start in this sport. It's all about piling up the goals and then being able to hang on to them down the end.
And you're certainly right about that. Leominster looking to come out strong and with a quick start. Interestingly enough, though, much like what we saw on the boys' side earlier in the week, 2 teams in very different portions of their schedule. Remember, we have a truncated schedule because of COVID. We don't have an 18 or a 19 game regular season because the spring season is truncated to accommodate for that fall 2 schedule earlier on. So even though Leominster is only 4 games in, they're essentially at mid-season area. And so that 2-2 record, they're scoring, they're getting multiple games in a week. Conversely, Marlborough on the girls and the boys side have only had 2 games going into their games against Leominster. They're really still trying to get their feet underneath them. You can't say enough how much or how important it is to have that chemistry out on the field and to get that game time, game play chemistry, incredibly important. So I think that Marlborough, yes, may be struggling a little bit, 0-2 coming into this contest, but again, they're in a situation where it's still very early on in their season, whereas Leominster is in the middle of their season, and that's kind of the intricacies of the different levels or the different divisions within the Mid-Wach, or the leagues within the Mid-Wach.
I would also note the spring schedule modified a little shorter because they have a state and district playoff, the national anthem, and then first draw. And with that, we are ready for first draw here at historic Doyle Field. Leominster and Marlborough set for girls lacrosse action here on a beautiful Chamber of Commerce Saturday here at Doyle Field. And Bill Thomas, it doesn't get much better than this. You know, when we talk about obviously all the things that the world has navigated over the last year and coming out to the other side of it, we remember just how fortunate we all are when you get such a beautiful Saturday. You're able to come out to high school sports and be able to get this, all across the region today. There are games up and down the schedule: baseball, softball, boys and girls lacrosse, track and field. It's starting to feel more and more like the world is slowly but steadily reloading itself to its normal, kind of process.
Well, if you recall, everything got shut down the first week of March. We didn't get any spring sports. We didn't get to enjoy any of this great springtime weather. And, we're fortunate that things are getting back to normal. And just the ability for the kids to get out and just expel that energy, the parents to come out and cheer on their kids, and the camaraderie that the team sports build. It's just great to see all that coming back.
And that is what we will see here. And we'll start back at the center X. And at that center X, in the face-off circle, so to speak, draw control for Leominster was such a huge offensive creator in the first matchup of the season that we saw against Littleton last Saturday. And Kate, the key to those draw controls was right there, Gabriella Santucci. Santucci was able to win a lot of the draw controls, and then in a couple of cases just took it half a length and put the ball home.
She's a game changer for Leominster. She has been since we started covering ladies lacrosse in high school. Loses control.
Yeah, I was going to say, loses that one to Lindsay Lefebvre, and the opening draw belongs to the Panthers, and away we go. Marlborough will go from right to left for the first 12.5-minute quarter. An extra 30 seconds per quarter in the girls' game here in Massachusetts. This is Lefebvre, little stick dodge throw, miss over the back of the net, backed up by the Panthers. They'll have the ball on the restart. Nice back up there on the back line by Sophia Torrio.
Nice juke there by Lefebvre, however, trying to get that goalie to bite on that fake. Doing a nice job on the attack as Marlborough here in the early going.
And nice pick on the inside. It was Cudahy who stepped in with the cross, took the ball away, and Leominster's got the ball looking to get out of their own end of the field. Bill Thomas, right now, one of the things I see the Panthers doing, they look like they're jamming up the traffic. Everything feels very bunched.
Yeah, well, trying to forecheck and cut off that offensive attack of Leominster before they get going down the field here. Leominster, good job breaking the press, I guess we could call that.
Indeed.
Santucci doing a nice job there for Leominster to keep that attack alive, picking up that ground ball.
And now Leominster settles into their offense on the half field, and they'll start to circle around the fan.
Showing some patience here.
Slowing the action down. This is Cudahy. Begins the drive, gets to the arc, goes top shelf, and misses over the crossbar long. Leominster's got the backup along that back line.
It's that reset right away.
Yeah, they wasted no time triggering and getting right back to action.
We commented, back line's not as far back behind the goal as it is in the boys' game, so they can get the resets going a lot quicker, too, if they're on it.
That is correct. The women's field a little bit longer, so less back line, less play behind the cage. It's also, Bill Thomas, although a little harder to see here, it's a little bit wider. And the women's game can play into any place where they don't believe it is dangerous to continue action. This is Santucci. Throwing on the brakes, hanging out there around the arc, and again, a very deliberate sense. Now they'll begin the drive to the cage. Miller Ayala, that one was steered away as Rainey got a stick on it. And it looks like the Panthers had the backup. Yes, they did. They'll have the restart. Nice job by Cece Francis drifting along that back line defensively.
Marlborough's defense doing a nice job there and making Leominster really have to penetrate into that arc and into that fan area.
And an immediate turnover, Kate. Sorry to have to jump in there. Pompey's going to get the ball back on the restart as Francis did not wait for the whistle. And so Leominster back on the offensive attack. 9:55 to play here in quarter one. No score, Leominster and Marlborough at historic Doyle Field on a Saturday. Looking low left corner, that was Cudahy. Wide of the cage. Across the end line, Leominster got the backup with Pompey on the back line.
Leominster, oh, go ahead, Bill.
Well, I was just going to say, Blue Devils having trouble getting shots on net. Plenty of shots, but wide of the mark up to this point.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I don't have the best
Great
color.
minds think alike.
That's right. I don't have the best color team in the league for nothing here, folks. As they work the ball around the exterior of the fan. After 11 years together, we're going to start thinking a little alike from time to time. As Cudahy works back and forth from left to right shot and then drops the ball off to Miller Ayala.
Trying to look for that slasher.
I like the patience on Leominster's attack here, getting in the hands of your goal scorer with Santucci.
Takes a little stick check there, and now Santucci splits the defense, tries to go low, gets tied up, and it looks like she will have the direct free as the foul came inside the fan. So they will put her at the top of the arc. First shot opportunity for Santucci. This one should go right on Rainey on the whistle. There's the signal to begin play. Goes center mass and snared out of the air by Rainey.
Great save right there.
Bouncing ball in the clear for Rennie, and Leominster's able to break it up. Miller Ayala, loose ball, goes right at her, and once again snares it out of the air.
Fixes her own mistake right there after a turnover.
And gives it right
Back to
back.
back.
Almost. No, ground ball bounces off the stick of Cudahy, and it's scooped up in transition, and the Panthers are able to clear their own end. Whistle behind the play. Keenan had the initial clear, and Leominster called for the violation in transition, so Keenan will have the restart.
Little stick foul there.
Downfield, centering, bouncing through the front of the cage.
I don't think the goalie saw it.
I don't think so either. I
Until it
believe Molly
bounced.
Jordan might have missed that
She
one.
might have missed it. I don't think that was a shot. Attempted a pass there that just kind of found its way through the goalkeeper's mouth.
And Leominster has the ball on the restart, and so here they come in transition. This is Ailes. Ailes looks downfield for a connection, finds Armashinga, who goes behind her looking for Santucci. That's a giveaway. It will stay in play. They'll pick up the ground ball, will Santucci unchallenged. And now Leominster goes back to that very deliberate half-field work. Leominster cycling the personnel as well. Cudahy's off for a spell. You see Shivari as well as Marchetti join the action at the top of the fan. Pocket picked there on the inside by Armashinga. Loose balls picked up in transition by Francis on the ground ball in front of the cage, and she will start the run out. And she goes downfield for a connection. 2-on-2 if they hurry. Leominster's defense scrambles back in. Nice job there by Finnegan, getting a stick out in front there to try to slow her up.
Marlborough able to recover, though, on the attack.
Yeah, and here comes Lefebvre to the cage, centering shot, and a score! Lefebvre to Lefebvre.
Nice pass from behind the goal line there. Streaking sister.
Lauren Lefebvre finds Lindsay Lefebvre for the score. So 6 from 1 for those of you scoring along at home. And the Panthers are out for the 1-0 lead.
I bet you they practiced that a couple of times.
I was going to say, it's always, if there's one thing that
Assistant,
comes from having a sister that
twins, too,
plays,
I might add,
I
I
believe, yes.
Twins.
Certainly the benefit of having a practice mate and being able to know each other's moves.
When you talk about court awareness in basketball, the same can be said here on the lacrosse field as well. And as you said, those two players, there shouldn't be anybody that knows them any better.
So they'll go face in for the draw control. Santucci and Lindsay Lefebvre, the goal scorer. And away we go. Loose ball off, being swept along. Leominster called, the whistle went off, and they were. Leominster was called for the violation, and so the Panthers will win the draw control and the possession on the restart. Already down 1. Centering pass, Lefebvre, cross corner, score! That's Lauren Lefebvre. And Coach Ken Abishan not wasting any time. He'll stop the action at 6:17 to play in the first quarter, down 2-0, and Leominster's going to talk things over. Meanwhile, Mary Kelleher got to be thrilled with the early flurry of action from her Panthers.
And the two players that the coach said that we should watch and he was most concerned about was the Lefebvre sisters, and it proved right away why.
Well, not only that, right off draw control. So we have a situation where Leominster's Santucci has been excellent all season long on draw controls. It's been one of the areas of strength that Leominster has had in this early going, and right now they're falling behind right off of the draw control, and Marlborough taking advantage of it, getting immediately on the attack, and you have Lefebvre to Lefebvre, that's a recipe for disaster if you are the Leominster coaching staff. That is precisely what you do not want to have happen.
And building on Kate's point there, Bill, I think one of the bigger concerns you have to think, you're 2-2 coming into the game. You've played 4 games. Marlborough's only played 2, and they've been on the wrong side of both of them. And you've now given them quite a bit of confidence in the early going. They've controlled things now out to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and I think they found the key to success is not let Leominster set up on the defensive end, but kind of work that fast break, get behind, but then look for that slasher right away. That's how they scored both of those goals off of that right side and get that slasher coming in from the right side. Key to success led to 2 goals right there.
And the interesting thing, I mean, we're only, halfway through the first quarter, and Leominster has had time of possession in their favor. But as Bill Thomas, you pointed out, they've had plenty of opportunities for shots on goal, but they've had 2 situations. Number 1, a situation relative to accuracy, and number 2, the play of the Marlborough keeper has been exceptional here in the early going. Whereas on the flip side, seemingly every opportunity that Marlborough has had on the attack, they've capitalized on that with the phenomenal play of the Lefebvre sisters, and they've been able to get the ball into that cage both times.
And I don't think Marlborough's even set up in the fan to work the perimeter. Nope. They've scored on fast breaks both of their goals.
You got it.
Get it in transition,
and that
get them
second
quick.
goal was off a turnover on
no
a stick
set
foul
plays.
at midfield.
Yeah.
And they didn't waste any time working that right side and attacking and then working the middle.
There is such a thing, there's that balance, right, between being patient and being too patient. And perhaps Leominster may be a little too patient on their end.
I don't know that we're there quite. I think it's early in the game. It's a Saturday, and they're trying to get a feel for what's going on. The problem is that their opposition is already feeling it.
Yes.
I think that's the difference.
And perhaps, much like we saw during the volleyball season, this timeout may have been more about just slowing things down, period, for Coach Ken Abishan and the Blue Devils than really anything situationally.
New Blue Devil on the draw control here.
Yes, indeed. And in the center circle, that was Howlett who took the draw, and it was won once again by Lefebvre. And she's got the ball, and in transition, she goes to the offensive end.
She's 3 for 3.
Indeed, she is. And Lefebvre sisters working that top, this time, fan coming from the right. Rolling to the center, wide open. This is Lindsay Lefebvre, falling down, rips the shot. It's long on the back line, but only Panthers back there to win the backup.
Falling down, back to the goal, flips it over his shoulder.
And that's how things happen in this sport.
Happens fast.
Bounding ball, whistle goes off as it goes out of play. They say there was a giveaway on the Panthers. The signal is going to be Blue Devil ball on the restart.
Well, once again, you notice the Panthers wasted no time working in the middle. They worked maybe half a fan, and then they attacked the goal. 2 sisters taking over in the middle.
And this is Melendez trying to find a lane out of her own end of the field. Makes a connection in front of the cage. Loose ball in front. Swept along there. It's Finnegan. Picked up, shot, and into the back of the goal by Lauren Lefebvre. Leominster with the self-inflicted giveaway, and Lefebvre makes them pay.
Yeah, you never pass back in front of your own goal. I don't care what sport you're playing. Hockey, it's a no-go. Field hockey, and right here, they paid for it right there with a turnover right in front of their own goal, and nothing they could do about it.
Unfortunately, right now, Leominster is the beneficiary of essentially falling into some quicksand. Nothing going right for them on offense or on defense, and it's starting with these draw controls. Santucci back out there for Leominster to see if she can get control again. But right now, Marlborough doing everything right in the early going here, and Leominster now behind 3-0.
Indeed they are. And so it's Lefebvre and Santucci back at the center circle for the draw control. The whistle to begin play. They kept it low. Lefebvre goes high, and Leominster able to get a little help from Miller Ayala, slipping the stick in there and scooping it up for Leominster's first draw control. Lefebvre, still 3 out of 4 is not bad.
Yeah, no, you can. 75% on draw controls is pretty commendable, considering in the boys' game we were talking about having over 63% draw controls being exceptional for Leominster. Right now, Lefebvre is a game changer there on draw control for Marlborough.
And Leominster goes to their half-field work the fan offense, and so they'll play catch around the outside. Right now, the Panthers, defensively, picket fence style in the Bill Thomas world, has set up along the arc, and nobody from the Blue Devils. Now they're trying to set up a pick. That's Cudahy tried to pick and roll. Santucci didn't have a lane. They were too close together. Santucci will go to Cudahy, and Cudahy thinks about playing the stick.
Marlborough's defense right now stifling in the face of every single Blue Devil player. They have given up every single passing lane, which is fantastic defense right now by Marlborough.
As Cudahy and Santucci play catch and then try to catch and roll off of it. right now, I think the biggest thing I'm seeing is there's not enough traffic in front of Rainey, in front of her cage. She's got clear sight lines wherever the Blue Devils are coming from at any angle. Now here comes Cuddy. He wraps around the cage, gets loose, and scores.
Besides, she's going to do it herself right there.
Sometimes you have to create for yourself, and Cuddy, he went around the world, Bill Thomas, to find her way there.
She started at the top of the key, so to speak, there, and she did. She made a 360 and came out on the right side of the goalie, snapped a quick shot past her.
Just a shade under 4 minutes left here in quarter one, 3:57 left in quarter one, and Leominster is on the board, 3-1.
Have to see if they can get that feel-good feeling back.
That's exactly right. They're going to need to try to create a wave to ride it into the second quarter.
But they need to attack right here, right away, and not let Marlborough answer.
Jump ball there, scooped up, bouncing to Miller Ayala again. She's able to help out Santucci.
Both off draw control. We'll see if Leominster can't make it pay off.
Leominster now with a strategy on those draw controls.
Indeed, work a two-person game.
Tip it.
Santucci immediately tries to sweep it along. Yeah, I was going to say.
I think she's looking for instant replay.
Tried to find Arma Shinga, who rolled off a screen, and the loose ball scooped up. Panthers with a couple of different ground balls grabbed there. It's Shanahan, and she's able to turn it out in transition.
Marlborough's been impressive in transition here. Let's see if Leominster's defense can meet them and meet the challenge as they go as Marlborough goes on the attack.
Krista Fides finds her way through traffic all the way into the offensive end, and then she'll drop it off for Turrio. Got a couple of Turrios, by the way, to go with a couple of Lefebvres. We've got Sophia Turrio and Angelina Turrio in that case. And this is Krista Fides. She'll drop it off for Francis. And there was a little push called there over on the far side. And so it will be an indirect off the restart from the fan. 2:40 to play here in quarter number one. Lefebvre goes center, looking for Krista Fides, lost it, able to scoop it back up and maintain control. Now Santucci reaches back into the action with a little stick poke, broke it up loose, but called for the foul at the arc.
Lauren Lefebvre now having to deal with a double team from Leominster's defense every single time she gets the ball. The problem is that likely leaves her sister, among many others, unguarded.
And here's Lauren Lefebvre. Quick slash, switches to the left-hand shot. She caught post, and that one will bounce loose for Miller Ayala. And Leominster out in transition. This is Ailes. Ailes trying to angle from near to far to create some space. She'll find Santucci down the left sideline. And Santucci thought about stepping on the gas, waited and slowed, and decided to go with a half-field game instead. Cudahy, right on the action, dances in and out, and now walks things back out to the fan. Final 97 seconds of the first quarter. Leominster still chasing 2 in a 3-1 game. Santucci works the cradle, finds Miller Ayala. No lane there. Back to Santucci over to the near side. 80 seconds left here in the first quarter. Howlett dashes to the right, goes to center of that fan, almost made it to the arc, and then peeled off, sent things back out.
Continue to be impressed by Santucci being able to use that offhand
she
pass.
switches.
She does a really nice job.
Doesn't matter what side she's on. I noticed that.
Right rolls to the left and vice versa. And she'll drop it off for Armashinga.
The ambidextrous nature of this sport is so impressive.
Howlett on the roll, Dutch shot. It is wide of cage, backed up by Leominster. They'll have it on the restart, 44 seconds left here in the first quarter. Working the cradle, down to 35 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Going to sweep the goalie right here.
Yeah, they're going to try to bring it all the way around potentially.
Surprised she gave it up right there.
Cudahy rolls around. She'll dash to the front of the cage. Creates some space, and Armashinga goes low right for the score.
Sweep around the goal right there.
And Cudahy, Bill Thomas, that time played the decoy. First one goes through, second one's got the ball.
She gave it up behind the goal, but she continued the path around and got the eyes on her and then had the trailer.
Leominster scoring.
6 from 9 if you're scoring along with us.
Leominster doing a nice job scoring with their scoring efficiency now on a set play, whereas we've been seeing the exact opposite from Marlborough on those fast breaks. Very interesting to see the two different
well, we saw the
philosophies.
same set play down here by Marlborough from the back pass, but the same set play here on the curl.
Yeah.
We'll have to see which one becomes most successful as the game continues.
Bouncing ball in the draw control, and Leominster goes 3 for 3 on their own. So after losing the first 3 draw controls, they've now won 3 in a row. They're down by 1. Final 13 seconds here of the first quarter. Whistle as that one gets poked away, and the violation called against the Panthers. Final 5 seconds here. Centering, Cudahy tried to pass it to herself. Ball knocked loose in the arc. And the whistle and horn will end first quarter action. A flurry of action here at historic Doyle Field through 1 quarter. It's Marlborough 3 and Leominster 2 here through 1. What exciting action end to end. And right now, to me, if I'm to draw a through line, it's draw control, 2 goals. That's the straight connection. Panthers came out, scored the first 3 goals of the first quarter, won 3 draw controls. Leominster now has won 3 draw controls, the successive 3 in the 6. They've split 50-50 here in the first quarter, and Leominster got 2 goals out of that action by pressing the issue a little bit.
Well, I think we've seen the difference in styles. Leominster's got no problem running that set play around the fan, but they love that curl over on the right side of the goal. He scored both of their goals over there, but on the opposite side, Marlborough wants a fast break. They want to get behind the goal. Then they want to look for one of those slashing the Lefebvre sisters, unless she's one of them's passing it out front. But that's been their key to success on the Marlborough side, is not wait for Leominster to set their defense up and just work that middle as quick as you can.
As advertised, though, Bill Thomas, have been the Marlborough Panthers.
And I think this is turning out to be a good matchup here, but it was nice to see Leominster get that goal right before the end of the first quarter there. Kind of swing a little bit of momentum back in their side, but I think what they've done is they've found a key to success, and they've given Marlborough something they got to think about, work a little bit harder on the defensive end, especially where they've seen that same play work twice in a row for the Leominster Blue Devils.
Through 1 quarter here at historic Doyle Field, it's 3-2 Panthers here on RFM on a Saturday morning. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here on this Saturday morning. Live broadcast here on RFM, available right here on Facebook. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Game available on demand later on today. You could search it up on YouTube. YouTube.com, search Rivalry Family Media, or take it straight to that tiny URL, tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. Updates and news around the region also available as we try to collect all the resources that are out there on our Twitter page. You can follow things out there at Media Rivalry. Post from yesterday included the schedule for the rest of the regular season spring. A lot of exciting action to come over the next week. Looking ahead to the Fitchburg-Leominster baseball game coming up this very Wednesday here at Doyle Field, upper field side. Leominster-Fitchburg baseball, that's a 7 o'clock first pitch here on RFM. Will be on at 10 minutes till to set those lineups for you. And then next Saturday, a road game here in the spring schedule as we go back to the boys' side of lacrosse action as Leominster travels to Lunenburg. Looking forward to that one. That was an exciting matchup here at Doyle Field. That was on one of our off days broadcast-wise. We're looking forward to seeing that combination coming up next Saturday as well. All that action right here on Rivalry Family Media as we get set for the second 12.5-minute interval. 3-2 Marlborough's lead, and it looks like perhaps they were considering maybe a change in the way they were going to line up for the draw control, but they're going to go face in still. Santucci with Lefebvre. And away they go, bouncing ball, and Shivari tries to sweep at it, still loose. Shivari will come up with it for Leominster. Marchetti works it around the world. Now Pompey finds Armishinga. And Leominster goes to that very deliberate cycling of the ball. Shivari, a little trouble with the stick here in the early going as she tries to get warmed up. One of the first coming from the bench. Just about 45 seconds into this second quarter.
Leominster in no hurry right here.
Yeah, going to try to lull them in. Once again, they run that little play, a little set piece, bringing, of course, one through the hole, trying to get the defense to follow that, and Armashinga tries to follow in. Just wasn't the space. Howlett fakes left, goes right, and then goes left corner, score!
Running that curl off the opposite side of the net here in that second period to success right there.
3-all. 11:23 to play in the second quarter.
Difference is the girl curling didn't have the ball, but she was in perfect position for a pass.
Howlett from Armashinga. And so here we go back to that draw control. This is what I thought was setting up at the start of the second quarter. They might try to go to the same side. I was thinking somebody was going to try to make somebody else uncomfortable by just changing their body position. And the result did succeed. Lefebvre came to the same side of the center line as Santucci. 3-all. 11:23 to play here in the second quarter.
Nice over-the-top pass right there to start that fast break.
Around the back of the cage it goes. This is Lefebvre. Finds Lefebvre. And they continue to work the ball now out the left side. This is Sweeney. Lefebvre finds Lefebvre, slashes to the cage and scores.
Nobody.
Lauren Lefebvre feeds Lindsay Lefebvre again. So it's 6 from 1 once again.
Nobody in front of the netminder playing defense there, cutting off her path. Nice, easy trip in front of the goals, slings it home.
Leominster had leveled the score at 3-all for all of about 30 seconds, and the Panthers right back on top by 1. It's 4-3 Marlborough.
Lefebvre's one or the other have had a hand in all 4 goals, I believe, either scoring or assisting.
They have.
And they found each other twice.
They have found each other twice already. Quite the dynamic duo for the Panthers.
Indeed it is. And right now I think, Kate, what we're seeing is defense is going to be at a premium.
I think you're probably right, and it's going to be very interesting. Once again, Marlborough is able to make something happen right off of the draw control. They have amazingly quick scoring capability.
Armashinga flashes, Howlett finds her, and she just rolls it in past Rainey. Goes low with a little shovel, and it just rolls on past Rainey, who was looking high for the shot.
Unexpected.
And that one rolled right by her. We're at 4-all. 10:48 to play here in the second quarter. So Armashinga from Howlett, 6 from 11 for that one.
This got all the makings of a 1-goal game, back and forth, but we'll have to see if somebody can string a couple of goals together and take control before halftime.
3-2 was our score at the end of 1 quarter.
Yep.
We're at 4-all, not even 2 minutes in to this second quarter of action. And the Panthers right back on the draw control. This is Lefebvre with the win. And she's going to casually take things down the left side of the field.
Well, they can score at will. It's so impressive.
And this time, that little roll and feed again, falling away off the check. And that one goes long of the net.
Into another net.
Yeah, I was going to say another net. This one they say was a potential pass, Kate. They gave it to Leominster on the restart.
Well, I think Leominster was closest.
Were
to
they
the
on the back
out-of-bounds.
line?
Yeah, they were covering the back line. There.
Thought there might have been a Panther over there, so good catch there, Bill Thomas.
Trying to take it all the way right there.
That was a stick hack in transition. Pompey swung the axe right across the other stick. And so the whistle and the violation, ball going back to the Panthers. But Santucci with the poke check and loosens it up, Kate.
She is, if she's around you, she is going to try to disrupt anything you've got going on. Impressive.
Howlett looking to slash her way in. She's deciding to take it all the way back to X. She'll feed the near side. First touch today for Laurie Young into the action. Now looks for Howlett again. Howlett was bothered going into the front of the cage. Might have got a stick to the head, uncalled. Panthers pick up the ground ball, and here they go in transition the other way. This is Lauren Lefebvre.
She is fast.
Oh, indeed she is.
What year are the Lefebvres?
It's an excellent question,
we don't
Kate.
know.
No, it's okay. That's my fault. It is on the roster as it gets sent in front. Shot and a score for Chrysofides.
Back and forth we go.
given the length of the names, I couldn't fit it.
apologize.
It's okay.
That's
I
my
couldn't
bad.
fit it on the front.
Looks like who's ever possessing the ball at this point is going to score a goal.
5-4 Panthers, 9:08 to play here in the second quarter.
Run it down and shoot.
You don't have to. I feel like you're feeling that you need to look that up.
Well, it
You're
feels
okay.
like an important point at this point.
I could go ask a spectator.
No. Right here. They're back to
Here we
back.
go.
As Leominster wins that draw control, yes. That's Miller Ayala once again chipping in. The Lefebvre sisters are juniors.
Oh, good. They'll be
And
back.
I was going to say, so that means still some time to develop. The infraction called against Leominster, so the Panthers will get it in transition.
I'd say still time to refine because I think they're already developed their game.
Miller Ayala gets tried to jump the restart a little bit, hacked the stick immediately, drawing yet another whistle. And so once again, the Panthers, and this time the referees set her a little further back for the restart. Different officials can be differently active in that restart as far as moving players around. They're trying to create or offset advantage versus disadvantage from when the whistle was blown. Some are very, very active. Others a little more laissez-faire in their placement of players. In that case, they decided to get active because after calling the initial stick hit, they then got another one right away. They had to move her farther back on the restart. Lefebvre thought about shooting, instead takes this one all the way back to X.
Testing the defense right there.
Under 8 minutes to play, second quarter. Panthers enjoying that 1-goal lead, 5-4 once again. This is CC Francis. Francis being kept away by Finnegan. Now swung around to the right side. Find the dangerous Lindsay Lefebvre. Lefebvre centers for Lefebvre. Quick stick. Got hooked from behind. Bodies go down. Whistle came late. And they're going to call Lefebvre for falling in the goal circle. So Leominster with the save for Jordan. And Jordan now has the ball on the restart. And in transition, here come the Blue Devils with some open field in front. That was O'Malley, was the connection downfield, finds Howlett, then works its way to Santucci. And now Leominster back on their half field. Under 7 to play here in the second quarter. Leominster chasing 1. 9 goals combined between these two teams here in the first half thus far. And I have a sneaking suspicion we're not done yet. Shivari looks that one past her cross. Has to go back and scoop it up.
Pace slowed down quite a bit here.
Indeed it has.
Leominster trying to lull Marlborough to sleep. No shot clock.
That's right. Take your
Take
time. And Leominster starts running folks through the front.
Right in the circle.
Going one way. Santucci fakes high and buries it low.
Comes back out on that right side. Snaps that quick shot off on net.
Great job coming around that net, Kate. And she faked like she was going to go up, try to come down with the shot. Got the goalie going up, turns the stick over, and shoves it in low.
And that's one of the most effective parts of some of the premier players' games. They're able to make that keeper move on that fake, and then that opens up the area that they actually want to make their move at. So nice job there by Leominster's offensive attack. Bill Thomas, you mentioned trying to lull Marlborough into a defensive slumber is the Leominster's attack. Again, we're seeing two very different offensive schemes by both of these two teams. Marlborough very active, very quick in their scoring. Leominster much more settled, much more, what's the word that I want? Oh my goodness.
Controlled?
Well, controlled,
Yeah.
but much more just particular. That's not the word I want, but
Surgical.
their cadence is a lot more.
I think well, what we're seeing is Leominster's a little more confident in their passing game. Marlborough's playing a 2-girl game right now.
And when they can't find their way home, they'll drop it off to somebody else who may be open. This is Lefebvre, races to the cage, and she shoves it home once again. 6-5 Panthers back on top. Just seconds for the response.
And that's the difficulty. That's what makes this Panthers team just so so dangerous is that they can score so quickly with those two Lefebvre sisters. Unbelievable field awareness from both of them, and you can literally just put this team on their backs, go out there and make a difference in 30 seconds.
A track meet has developed here. As it appears, it's going to be up and down the field we go.
Deliberate's the word. I have been
There it
trying to
is.
find the word deliberate for
okay, it
about
happens sometimes.
72 seconds. Deliberate. That's not that difficult.
No, but it got hung up when you were trying to describe something. It
Get away
happens.
from me.
Draw
Well,
control.
It's embarrassing.
The cross knocked forward. And there was a push after the play, and it's called against Santucci, so they got to move her around. And the restart belongs to Lefebvre.
Not wasting any time. They love to attack from that.
Lefebvre finds
Outside.
Lefebvre, and
There
she
it is.
buries it home again. This is 1 from 6, so put it back the other way. Lauren Lefebvre, second straight goal. And this time, Lindsay Lefebvre looks up downfield and finds Lauren Lefebvre wide open in the arc, and she just slams it home past Jordan.
Didn't waste any time, but they like coming down from that right side over there.
So that was
Goalie's
Lauren
left
who scored
side.
Again. Lauren
And,
scored again?
Yes, Lauren scored again. So back-to-back goals for 1. This one assist for 6. 5:17 to play here in the second quarter, and Coach Mary Kelleher's squad has advanced their lead to 2 at 7-5. And Leominster's going to change up the draw control position again. They'll put Cudahy into the circle. And this one, won by Lefebvre, but scooped up by Lauren Lefebvre on the ground ball. And Lauren ahead for Lindsay, and away we go in transition. Just like a casual Saturday in the backyard at the Lefebvre house in Marlborough.
what it feels like.
This one poked away. Santucci's got it in transition, taking it from Christofides. Santucci centers for Cudahy. Cudahy with some room, looks for Armashinga. Nice job getting a stick in the lane there by Tanara. And the Panthers will pick up the ground ball, and defensively they'll clear it upfield. That's Carlman, overthrows her mark. This case looking for Terreo. Leominster picks up the ground ball, and here comes Marchetti, cycling it forward, this time for Ailes.
Now, Terreo's been in the mix all game, too, today, Todd.
Indeed, she has been.
Armashinga has been impressive from X all day long for Leominster when she gets that ball. Very impressive to see her work that perimeter from X.
Working that circle. Swinging around here. Coming around.
Yeah, here comes Cudahy.
Let
I was
it
going to
fly.
say, I'm going to let Bill Thomas describe it
Coming
because he's right.
around.
You could see it coming.
You know, this is her move, but got pushed a little wide right there, resetting.
And now she'll try to find Santucci. A nice job by Lefebvre to kind of get in the midst of that pass. Knock it loose. The ground ball still loose and ultimately scooped up by Santucci. 3.5 to play here in the second quarter. Panthers lead is 7-5. Leominster has come level. They have not led in the ball game. Here's the wraparound opportunity coming all the way around the world and over the top. Backup is won by the Panthers. That was the first drive today from Laura Young to the front of the cage.
And you could hear Coach Mary Kelleher say, "Here it comes."
Here it comes.
They
from
know.
behind, yeah.
I mean, both of these teams. There's no veil of any type of secrecy. You know exactly what's coming from both of these teams. It's just a matter of how efficient and effective is your defense.
Oh, beautiful play downfield. Marchetti with the one hand scoops the stick for the steal. And you're absolutely right, Kate. It is basically, here comes another dose. If you
Yep.
can stop it, good for you.
You got it. On both sides.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Armashinga works a little give and go with Young, kind of off the left side of the cage. Ball gets dropped. Leominster picks up their own ground ball. 2.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Leominster with a clear out here. They're going heavy to the left, which opens up the right side. Now they'll rebalance the fan as Miller Ayala comes all the way back out. She'll drop it off for Cudahy. Draw 2, snaps a shot, low left, and a beautiful stick save scoop by Rainey. Leominster knocks it down in transition once again. Ground ball, scooped up, knocks loose again. Santucci ultimately grabs control.
Well, and this is multiple times now that Rainey from the keeper position has had beautiful saves and has not been able to effectively clear the ball and has kept Leominster on the attack. That's difficult if you're the goalie. You do on the front end something fabulous and then on the back end something disastrous.
Santucci flashes from Cudahy. Looked like she was going to take it on the drive straight down and instead decides to pull back off. That one short hops Howlett. Miller Ayala with a nice backup scoop. Now Howlett shows again. Top of the arc. Dances back out to the fan.
Quite the game of cat and mouse.
Indeed it is. Cudahy slips a defender. Left hand shot. Top right corner score.
She's determined right there. But you know she changed up. She started to break around the net, got the eyes looking around, but cut back in front.
Leominster
nice change right there.
Gets back within one. 1:13 to play in the second quarter. Panthers lead is 7-6. 13 combined goals in the first half for these two squads.
It's going to be a high-scoring affair.
Indeed it will be.
It's about who's going to be able to keep up with who.
Last goal might win.
Panthers' highest goal output has been identical. 8 goals in each of their 2 losses in the last 2 weeks.
They're going to have more than that.
Leominster has varied significantly, scoring as many as 15 in their 2 wins, 14 in their first loss, and then their lowest scoring output was against Tingsboro, who we said was the class of this group. Leominster was only able to produce 8.
Marlborough winning the draw control there, so look out for another goal coming. That's been the trend all game.
Indeed. And this is Lefebvre with it as we're under a minute here in the second quarter. Lefebvre dances to the arc and then pulls off. Not enough room. Good coverage there by Shivari. But now she'll drop it off to the other Lefebvre. Bounce shot, missed the angle. It went wide of the cage. The backup there belongs to the Panthers. Turio tried to make the scoop. It went by her, but thankfully unchallenged on the back line. This is Christofides. Wraps around, left side, poked away, bounces into the circle, and scooped up by Jordan with the big cross. Final 20 seconds of the second quarter.
She's looking for help.
Yeah, she's going to need some because she's facing a whole lot of Panthers jerseys in front of her.
Nice clear right there, though.
Indeed, she found Howlett in the open field. Final 12 seconds here. You know you can play to the last ultimate shot. Leominster found that out last Saturday when they watched a goal roll by him at halftime. Here's the drive and fling. That one's off angle, and it's not gonna matter. A flurry of first half scoring here from Doyle Field on a brunch Saturday with girls lacrosse here on our FM. It's Marlborough 7 and Leominster 6 at halftime.
Pretty entertaining half, I will say. Back and forth, up and down. Both teams got a little bit to work on. Specifically on their defense, they got it. Marlborough side got to work on stopping that curl a little bit, and you got to double team Lefebvre sisters whenever you get a chance.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the key. Who makes an adjustment, or do they make an adjustment at halftime, Kate? Do you just keep going with what works, or do you become concerned and start to second-guess yourself that perhaps maybe defensively you need to think about coming up with something else, force them to do something different?
Well, and I think because you have a pair of Lefebvres, because you can't double-team both of them, because, you know, if you send too many personnel to them, you're literally leaving the entire rest of the team open and available. So you have to, you know, pick and choose. And right now, I don't want Lauren to continue to beat me. So I need to minimize her ability to essentially control the point for Marlborough. Right now, on her own, Lauren has 4 goals. Lindsay has 2. So, I mean, that's certainly nothing to you know, scoff at. But right now, those 2 have been so instrumental and such game changers for Marlborough. You have to try to minimize the contributions of one of them. You're not going to be able to stop both of them. On the flip side, for Marlborough's defense, they're going to have to find a way when Leominster has that control on the attack and they're seemingly able to take chunks and chunks of time off, going to have to find a way to be able to stop that and get control of that ball so that they can clear it. So I think you are going to see adjustments on both sides. But I think that Leominster is going to have a much higher hill to climb than Marlborough is in the second half. So I think Leominster is going to have to do their level best just to try to keep up with what Marlborough's attack is dishing out.
Perhaps the synopsis, when it comes to the Lefebvre sisters, you can't stop them, you can only hope to contain them. Marlborough 7, Leominster 6 at the half. More to come. More girls lacrosse right here on a Saturday morning here. This is RFM. Back to historic Doyle Field in Leominster, ready for second half action on a beautiful Saturday morning. Todd Robbins with Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you joining us. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry, the home of RFM and our live broadcast coverage. 7-6 Panthers as we get set to start the second half. And Billy, we just said it before we came back on the air, but it bears repeating to the audience. I believe the team that touches the ball last may very well be the one that wins the game.
I'm going to one-up you. I think we're going to have an overtime.
Bill Thomas going in for overtime.
So that you're right. Whoever touches the ball last in that respect, but I think we're going to have an overtime game.
I think certainly that is the way things are setting up. As we switch for second half action, keepers change ends. Leominster will go right to left, Marlborough left to right. Official Steve Strange out there trying to set the sticks for the draw control. Now he's set. And the whistle away and the bouncing ball, and it is scooped up, draw control won by the Panthers. And away we go with second half action, and this is Lindsay Lefebvre. Leominster trying to raise those sticks. Notice that? That's a little bit of a change.
It's like hands up in basketball.
Absolutely. Trying to fill as much of those passing lanes as they possibly can. Panthers, meanwhile, trying to circle the arc a little bit. Each team trying to play each other's game a little bit here, and Leominster called for the stick foul there. Panthers will have the ball in the restart. Shanahan with the indirect. She'll drop it off for Christofides. Now Lefebvre. Centers for Lefebvre. Angled shot and score. That's 6 from 1. Lindsay Lefebvre puts the one in the net. Lauren sets her up.
Not much you can do about that unless you cut her off on the way to the goal. You got to watch that cut. Stay in front of her.
11:45 to play here in the third quarter, and it is 8-6.
One draw control, one from Marlborough, one goal.
One goal. It's fairly easy to see the recipe and how it comes together.
You notice Marlborough didn't waste any time on the fan, though. As soon as they had a chance to pass it into a slasher, they took advantage of it.
It looked like they were going to set it up. They were thinking about cycling the ball a little bit. You're right, Bill Thomas. And all of a sudden they said, nah, forget it.
Nope.
Opportunity presented itself. Leominster wins this draw control. Santucci in the circle, and then the assist for Cuddy. He's stepping in to grab the ball. And here they come. Now Leominster down the field, working to this left-hand fan.
Now, Marlborough's production and efficiency is going to place a lot of pressure on Leominster's attack here in the second half. They are going to have to be better and even more efficient than Marlborough is. They don't have to score as quickly, but they need to be just as efficient. And right now, Marlborough's efficiency on draw controls in the second half is 100%.
And they have never led, Kate. That's the biggest key I look at as we go into this third quarter. Is although Leominster has kept pace, they've leveled the score, they have never led in this game. Marlborough led from 1-0 on out. Bounce shot there from Cudahy. Had the goalie beat Rennie, had the stick going the wrong way, looked like a shortstop not turning the glove over on the ground ball. And this one ended up bouncing over the crossbar too high.
And Marlborough gets it here.
Yeah, defensively with the scoop from behind the cage. They dropped it back off, and then it was promptly thrown toward the sideline by Rennie and ultimately thrown away. And so the ball will go back to Leominster.
If there's been a weak spot in Marlborough's game, it's really the control after a good save by the goalie. Just got to work on that clearing a little bit more and avoid those turnovers and giving Leominster those extra chances.
Agreed wholeheartedly, Bill
But
Thomas.
Stark area in need of improvement on Marlborough's
Playing
defense.
great in the
cage,
cage, though, even though she has given up 6 goals, playing great.
Cudahy with the dodge and roll. Drops it off. Ayala tries to catch and replace. It ends up bouncing over to Howlett. 2.5 minutes into this third quarter. Leominster looking for a response.
Way Marlborough's been answering, you cannot let him get a 3-goal lead here.
Santucci gets the underhand from Cudahy, gets the shot off, taken out of the air by Rennie.
Once again, great save. In close.
The only thing I'm seeing from Rennie, and this could be why she's vulnerable to the ball below her waist, she plays those high shots by taking the top of the cross and trying to point it down. So again, I'll go back to my baseball, softball reference, trying to keep the fingers of the glove down, trying to raise them above your waist is no good up there around your shoulder. You got to turn the glove over and get it pointed down. Same concept here with the stick, got to turn it over, and she goes high with it, which concerns me, I would say, in the long run, instead of playing it face up.
Yep, that is the
I wonder if
adage.
Leominster's offensive forwards will look at maybe throwing some bounce passes, bounce shots at her.
We haven't seen a lot of that in the women's
No, we
game.
haven't.
but they have done a nice job of turning the stick over and just rolling it on in by or below the knees. Shots, I think, have got to go low here in the second half for Leominster.
Yeah, I agree.
Under 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
I think they just have to not be center mass.
Agreed. Wasting down, and anything on either corner certainly seems like a place where Rennie may be vulnerable.
She's done
Santucci.
a tremendous job, though.
Oh, absolutely she has. Howlett gets the drop off.
Leominster running a little weave here.
Indeed. Trying to move the defense around. They'll drop it off. This is Cudahy. Cudahy splits the defense. Angled right. Shot and score! Comes back across the arc and throws it in left corner.
Her offhand shots are gorgeous.
Oh, and she's able to draw the defense, as you have noted, by moving that stick back and forth. Send the stick left, cross it back across your body right, and then rip the shot to the left and puts it home. Leominster back within one, 8:26 to play here in the third quarter, and it's an 8-7 Marlborough lead.
Leominster had won the last draw control. They're able to keep up, draw control, score.
Interesting stat, but you're right, Kate, spot on. It's about getting that initial possession.
And I think this is probably the most stark example of that we've seen
Thus
in
far,
the
yes.
boys and girls lacrosse games that we've covered thus far.
I would agree. Here we go, up for the draw control. It was tipped by Lefebvre, loose ball, and scooped up by Lindsay Lefebvre.
Look out.
Gives it to her sister, fast breaking.
Yes, indeed, Lauren
Nice every
Lefebvre,
time.
the gazelle of the pair. Throws to the inside, looking for Christofides. It was knocked down, but the ground ball was scooped up by Christofides. And she will drop it off. Finds Lefebvre. Lefebvre for Lefebvre. Cutting to the arc, and a whistle. They wave the goal off. So Leominster's contact, committing the foul, actually saves the goal.
Wow. No continuation right there.
Indeed there is not. Whistle went off before the ball went in. So this time it's Lauren Lefebvre with the direct free position. The whistle, the attack, low shot, and score.
You're not making any mistake right there. So you don't have to shoot from the line. You can attack with the ball. That's
That is correct.
interesting.
Yep,
That's
you are
interesting.
allowed to shoot off the whistle. That's the key.
So it's not
the
like
key
a
to it.
penalty kick.
Correct. On the indirect,
soccer.
like you would in soccer, you have
Yeah.
to turn and pass it out. Same concept. In this case, you can shoot on goal.
Was that Lauren or Lindsay?
That was Lauren.
Number 6?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and
No, Lauren is one. Was that
Lauren is
Lindsay?
one.
Was that-
one.
So was
So
that,
was that
Lauren
one?
or
It was
That
Lindsay?
was one.
Yes, Lauren one.
you know, and most of the set plays we've seen, the girls have been shooting right from that line on the whistle. They haven't been attacking, so it's an interesting way to utilize that advantage.
So once again, a draw control for Marlborough. The
Yep,
previous one for
Lefebvre.
Marlborough when they scored.
Here comes another.
6-1, just like before.
This is Christofides taking the contact from Cudahy, who's having to play the center on the defensive side. They will circle this one around, will the Panthers. Falling away that time was Francis, and the ground ball created and scooped up by Leominster's Marchetti. Marchetti finds her way forward for Howlett. Howlett dashes to the left, then cuts back center of the field. Ball was knocked as she tried to snap a pass off. Ground ball there, swept on and scooped up there by Lefebvre. Only for a moment, though, as Leominster was able to break it up, and Cudahy picks up the ground ball. 6:15 to play here in the third quarter, 9-7. Panthers enjoying the 2-goal lead now. Most of that first half, the latter part of it at least, was marked by a 1-goal Panther lead. They have it moved that advantage to 2, which has got to be concerning for Leominster. Means you need a 3-goal swing in order to turn things around and get yourself on top. We mentioned it if you're just joining us. Leominster has not led at any point in this game thus far. They have just basically tried to tread water and keep pace. Armashinga, nice roll into the arc, but had her pocket picked loose. Marchetti picks up the ground ball. Leominster still on offense.
Mr. Recycling now, trying to
Yep,
work.
Armashinga
Looks like
getting
they're
ready to go back
work
to
around
X.
the back of the cage. See how they run this set.
And this is one of those things that I had talked about when I try to, again, find comparisons. We found a lot of great comparisons, of course, with lacrosse and basketball over recent weeks. But I would also say I always called this square dancing, because you'd have this move, you'd run the move, it would, the dance step would happen, And then if it doesn't work, you reset and do it again as Santucci creates some space, going to the right, and snaps a little left for the score.
And when you're patient, that's the way it works. You pass it to the left, you cut in through the circle, put a good shot on net, and you score.
Do-si-do, come loose and shoot and score. 9-8, Panthers lead.
And both sides, sometimes they seem to make that offensive set play look so easy, and you wonder why they just don't run the same play over and over again, but it's not that easy. It looks easier than it actually is. It looks harder than it actually is. I mean, the girls make it look easy. Camera adjustment there. Thank you, sir.
Not a problem at all.
Sun's wreaking havoc with our
daytime
highs
games.
and lows.
I was going to say daytime
Not complaining
games.
about the sun.
No,
trust
it's
me.
beautiful. It is great to be out here.
A little hard to follow the ball once in a while, so bear with me.
We'll keep making adjustments in order to make it work. Down the field we go. This is Lindsay Lefebvre. And she's going to maintain control, play a little keep away. She's going to dash to X. And everybody on the Leominster end just trying to keep a stick in front of her so she can't make a clean pass to the front of the cage.
Not letting her run free either, picking her up as soon as she goes from side to side.
And her ability to distribute that ball has been absolutely stellar.
Leominster, yeah, call for the stick check there, so it'll put things on the reset. They're going to angle it back out. Leominster gets pushed farther back. And now Lefebvre. My concern becomes, where is the other Lefebvre? And there she is, Lauren Lefebvre at the top of the fan.
No, they find each other.
When one has the ball, I'd certainly want to know where 6 is and vice versa. Point blank shot, rings the crossbar, high bounce loose for the ground ball, and it is scooped up on the play by O'Malley from Leominster. And Leominster's got the ball in transition. One of our first transitions we've seen here in the second half. It's been draw control, half field score on either side. Panthers getting the better of it thus far. Here's the drive. Cuddy, cross-body shot, and score!
Not wasting any time for the Panthers to get back on defense right there. Nice attack.
3:53 to play in the third quarter, and we're all level again. And Coach Mary Kelleher wants to talk things over. She'll call the timeout with 3:53 to play here in the third, knotted at 9.
How fortuitous can you be, though? Sorry, Kate.
No, you're fine.
A shot off the post turns into a fast break the other way, and 10 seconds later, you got a goal.
Well, Leominster's last 2 goals have actually come when Marlborough has won the control. So, I mean, it's very interesting. If Leominster is able to get over a Marlborough draw control and they can score, that's been the difference here, and that's what's evened this up. Leominster's defense is going to need to continue to be efficient and make sure that even if Marlborough wins those draw controls, that they are able to scatter things enough and disturb things enough on defense where they're able to get into a position where they are able to transition and then be efficient on offense. Because right now, it's a track meet, back and forth, back and forth.
And Leominster right now, this is the hump. To me, this is such an important and crucial point of this game. 3:53 to play in the third quarter. You've drawn level here in the second half, and you have yet to come over the top. It feels like this is the time they got to come over the top and grab the next goal, just for their own sake, to prove that they can get themselves out into the lead.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, they've been fighting that uphill battle right from the opening face-off, and they gave up a quick couple of goals there. But you're right, Todd. They've battled back even, but they've never been able to get that over-the-top goal to put them at that plus side. They're always battling back and looking up. We'll have to see if they can't put a – I think they've scored 3 goals in a row here from 9-6. Can't see if they put a 4th goal on the board here before.
There was one Marlborough goal in between.
But a good offensive output by Leominster here to bring this back to a tie score for sure.
And what an exciting game thus far. Not even through the third quarter. A combined 18 goals between the two squads. That's what this sport is all about. It is an offensive-minded game. Action-oriented, to say the least. And we're glad to bring it to you here on RFM. Todd Robbins with Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and all of you, a part of our family here on Rivalry Family Media. Great to have you with us as part of this broadcast on a Saturday morning. What a great way to start the day. We're crossing into the old Saturday afternoon, so if you had brunch, maybe you're taking us with you as you work your way to go outside for some chores. And here they go into the center circle once again, Santucci and Lefebvre. Jump ball is loose. They will scoop it up. Lefebvre gets the draw control in transition.
It's 5-2, or 5 draw controls for Marlborough to Leominster's 1 in the second half.
And the battle goes down to field level. It's Christofides. Gets loose from Finnegan. Christofides has it poked away from MIAA. Whistle comes from behind the action. And it looks like it'll be an indirect advantage for the Panthers. 3:20 and counting to play here in the third quarter. All level at 9 aside. Christofides signals to begin. She will roll. Looking for an outlet, and there's nobody there to make a connection with. Now the dart goes behind the cage, finds Turrio. Swings it to yet another Turrio. 2 pairs of sisters out on the field right now. Lefebvre tries to roll off, knocked loose by Santucci, and scooped up by Chavari on the ground ball for Leominster. Here comes that opportunity to take it downfield and to maybe gather their first lead of the ball game. Armashinga looks to center, finds Santucci. Santucci to the arc, throws on the brakes, comes to the near side. Shot is scooped up on the doorstep. No, they say it's a goal. The signal is a goal, and Leominster, 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. They say that one was over the line before Rennie scooped it up. Leominster on top, 10-9.
Strange bounce right there, and it somehow got behind the goalie. Didn't make it all the way into the cage, but got across the goal line. The official right there on the spot awarded the goal to Leominster.
Santucci took the shot, I believe. Believe she had last touch, so I'm going to give it to Santucci. Check the replay, available on demand on YouTube, same day delay, youtube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. I believe she had the shot. She had the ball last I can remember.
Marlborough another draw control, 6-1 in the second half.
Christofides travels to the arc. There's a whistle for contact. Leominster bench over here a little frustrated. Players on the near side with the oh no as the contact was called.
So interestingly, in the second half thus far, Marlborough's efficiency on draw controls has increased, but Leominster's defense has improved so much that Leominster now in the lead. Very interesting.
Christofides with the direct, and Jordan with the save. None bigger today. Such a hugely important moment for Molly Jordan to make a stop.
You know, I don't think it was spoken highly enough of how well Molly Jordan's played today, but she's doing a great job keeping Leominster in this game.
93 seconds left here in the third quarter. Leominster with their first lead of the day at 10-9. Marchetti comes to the near side for Howlett. And here comes Howlett on her horse down left sideline. She'll drop it off for Armashinga, who's going to take it slowly onto the back line and start to set up Leominster around the arc. Everybody drops back to the fan and let's play catch. Meanwhile, lower half of the offense kind of threading the needle, going in and out, working a little of that weave action in front of the cage. And now this is Marchetti standing at the point of the fan. With the cradle, comes to the near side and Santucci, who has a shot for a drive, thinks better of it, dances her way slowly in, tries to roll, nowhere to go. She'll angle it back out. Final 40 seconds here of the third quarter. Looked for Miller Ayala, not there. Ball knocked loose, ground ball. There's some contact.
Big hit.
And that will be called against Leominster, and so they'll move folks around, and it's Panther ball. 25 seconds left here in the third. And this is Lefebvre taking a hack all the way down the left sideline. And now the final 15 seconds of the third quarter. Can Lefebvre make it in transition for one more shot opportunity? Not exactly pressing the issue, doesn't have to. Drops it off now for Lauren Lefebvre. Underhand scoop, finds Lindsay. Low sidewinder to top shelf score with 1 second remaining in the third. We're tied at 10.
Talk about a give and a go and a shot. That play was well set up. Well set up.
6 from 1 once again, Lindsay Lefebvre.
Wow.
And I love those low sidewinders at the waist high, Bill Thomas, but this one turned it all the way over and shot in an upward fashion, ripping and ending up underneath the crossbar. We're tied at 10.
And I think what Marlborough did a great job was they would get the defensive eyes moving, but didn't have a time to key on anybody. And ended up with a nice shot right in front.
One more draw control opportunity here in the third. Ball is up. Lefebvre wins it, third quarter over, and what a treat it has been thus far. We are at 10-all through 3 quarters here at historic Doyle Field. Leominster certainly offensively much more productive in the third quarter, able to get themselves to their first lead of the day at 10-9. But a response from the Panthers comes with 1 second remaining in the third quarter, and we are tied at 10, looking at the final 12 and a half minutes of this game.
You know, when you look at how balanced the scoring has been, Todd and Kate, I think each team has been averaging 3 periods, three goals, 3 to 4 goals each. Very well balanced, controlled play by both teams. And, you know, we went from, I believe, 7-6 at halftime, now 10-10. You know, and it's just been back and forth, trading goals. We'll have to see it once again if somebody can put 2 or 3 goals together, but then turn around and play some defense on top of it.
The goal scoring, Kate, has come in flurries there in the third quarter, but there have been names galore that have been added. The Lefebvre certainly still are the players to look at on the Panther side of the ball. And for Leominster, they continue to spread the action out, but of course, Cudahy and Santucci are certainly the players to keep an eye on as well thus far.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Leominster's goal scoring has come from a much wider range or wider array of personnel out on the field. So a lot more diversity in their goal scoring and coming from different angles. But you can't say enough about the efficiency of the Lefebvre sisters from Marlborough. It's just about as impressive a duo as we have seen in our brief time covering women's and boys and girls lacrosse at the high school level. They are about as impressive as it gets out there, and without those two would be, I think, a very different game. So right now, Marlborough utilizing that personnel. They are incredibly effective, incredibly efficient, and they are just game changers.
The definition of a 2-person game on the one side, Bill Thomas.
Well, 2.5. Let's give Krista Feedy some credit there too. She's been doing a lot of ball handling also. I believe she has a goal, but you know, it's basically been the Lefebvre sisters.
And then when you look over to the other side, Kate's point spot on for Leominster. It has kind of been scorer by committee. Find different ways. Of course, they establish their big names, Santucci and Cudahy, and the ones that we keep talking about, Howlett a little bit as well.
Mashinga has been out there too, getting some good touches.
4 different goal scorers for Leominster throughout the game. In the second half, it has been the Cudahy and Santucci game show at the moment. I mean, all the way back to 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the second quarter, they have been the 2 goal scorers for Leominster. So they have kind of taken over the yeoman's work for the offense, but it'll be very interesting to see if they have the legs to keep up with the Lefebvres. And
perhaps this creates the opportunity for somebody like Armashinga, who they did a nice job of in the first half. Yep. You run the decoy route with Cudahy and Santucci, and Armashinga slips back in behind. Defense goes one way, and she comes back with the other, kind of being that second person through the hole.
And I think they're going to need something special like that, especially as time wanes.
And Howlett's going to take this draw control to start the final 12 and a half minutes of regulation. Going right along, it's Lindsay Lefebvre, and the loose ball. It was overrun by Santucci, still loose. And I think she's going to get called for the hack. She will, and so it will be Panther ball. They'll win the draw control off the whistle.
That's 8-1 on draw controls for Marlborough in the second half alone.
And down the field they go. Lefebvre for Christofides. About 30 seconds into this fourth quarter, all knotted at 10. First real offensive possession of this fourth quarter. Lefebvre flashes, ball got knocked away, still loose. Christofides races into the top of the fan and scoops up the loose ball.
Good job.
Been tripping over fan arc all day long, by the way. Apologies.
Well, the one that looks like a fan is the arc. The one that looks like an arc
is the fan, which is kind of the thing. And of course, in basketball, we call that three-point line the arc. And all day long, that's all I keep seeing. Here's the drive. Christofides never gets a shot off, but does maintain control. She'll drop it off for Lefebvre. Lefebvre back to the top of the fan definitively. Dances her way into the arc, drops it off inside, low shot, and score! CC Francis gets on the score sheet.
You notice how that play developed. Lefebvre drew 3 defenders there, the 2 corner defenders, and left, who was that?
Francis,
wide,
yes.
wide open over there on that right elbow.
And the Panthers regain a 1-goal lead. 11-10 now. 11:21 to play here in the fourth quarter.
And if you're Leominster, that's not exactly what you want to see. All of a sudden, the ball getting distributed to other players and the efficiency continue on offense for Marlborough.
Because then it becomes guess and check.
You
go to cover the talented players who have carried the game, and you forgot about everybody else,
Right.
and
Who
now
do you
you're
let
in
run-
trouble. Now
who do you let
guess?
run free? Exactly.
Downfield, it's Chrisofides. She'll drop it off for Francis. And Francis presses the action right to the arc and loses the ball. Now loose still. Swept on forward and scooped up there by Lindsay Lefebvre. Chrisofides for Lauren Lefebvre. Splits the defense. Down the left side. Shot on net. Jordan snaps it out of the air.
Nice catch right there.
Nice job by Leominster's defense to try to disrupt that offensive attack. Did just enough to be able to get that shot to go just about center mass.
Miller Ayala finds Leominster in transition. Santucci for Cudahy. They miss the connection. This is going to be a giveaway unless Armashinga can keep it alive. Nice race to the line to keep it playable. That's a great individual effort by Armashinga to keep Leominster on the offensive end. Finds Cudahy. Cudahy responds. Low right score.
That all developed off of the save over here on the sideline. Didn't turn into a giveaway. Took her right to the net.
Felt very NHL action there. The left-hand lock. Everybody drives into the left corner boards. Everybody else rolls out. And then you find your way loose around the cage and score.
Find somebody open in the middle.
11 all. 10-18 to play here in the fourth quarter. 22 combined scores. This is what lacrosse looks like.
And the interesting thing here is that you have a situation where both of these teams playing up to the other, doing a nice job. They're in a track meet right now, and regardless of how this one ends, nice job on both sides getting into this track meet and just riding the wave both ways.
Never too high, never too low. Everybody just trying to keep pace with the action. Cudahy won the draw control this time against Lefebvre and finds Santucci. And Santucci's wasting no time. She's going right to the arc, cuts her way through, switches to the right-hand shot. It was steered away by Rennie. Loose ball, scooped up and stuffed home there. Laura Young, the junior, picks up the loose ball on the doorstep and jams it home and puts Leominster on top at 12-11. 10:05 to play here in the fourth.
Nice job by Santucci off of that draw control, but just turning that into a fast break right there, and that's where the opportunity came from.
End to end. Absolutely right, Bill Thomas. Santucci
But look where we got.
was taking it to the end.
Leominster's first lead, or did they
Second.
catch one earlier?
Second
They
lead.
caught one earlier. See if they can't maintain it here, but I have a feeling Marlborough's just going to attack right now.
And it really does feel like whoever wins the draw control's got the next goal coming up. And guess what? Panthers win the draw control, and right away, Miller Ayala swings the axe with the cross, gets called for the stick contact, and so the Panthers get it in transition.
Things are getting a little physical.
Oh,
out there.
indeed they will be. And the desperation feels more and more. Chrisofides flashes into the arc. Loose ball. Leominster tries to steer it on. Finnegan is shoveling it forward. Everybody trying to scoop up this ground ball. It now gets kicked loose long past the fan. Lefebvre still trying to, somebody stick a fork in it. And Lefebvre will finally get a fork in the meatball loose somewhere
so
back around the fan.
frustrating.
Oh, absolutely.
Try to scoop it and you push it. Can't get under it.
Lefebvre goes with the flash for the other Lefebvre, and Jordan sticks the cross out and takes it away. And she will clear long and
Jordan
immediately
is
to the right
just
sideline.
Get rid of it.
Yeah,
Rid of
get it out of
Get it
here.
away from me.
Before Marlborough can peel back, absolutely. Just get it downfield.
And now here come the Blue Devils back downfield. Cudahy with it, slowing the transition. Brilliant maneuver here. Peel some time off the clock. There is no hurry. You've got a 12-11 lead. You'd like another goal or two, obviously, but you could take your time and peel some time down off the clock at the moment with the 1-goal advantage. Far different being a goal ahead than being a goal behind.
You know, and the coach talked about pregame, about keys to the game is limiting Marlborough's touches, especially the Lefebvre sisters, and this is what they got to do right now with a lead. Play with a lead.
Best
in this,
defense, good offense, Kate.
and this situation being that Leominster right now is going to force Marlborough's defense to have to get aggressive and get in their face. And right now, as you said, Leominster content. There is no shot clock that we are aware of.
And what will happen is if Marlborough comes out to challenge, it'll open up the cutters.
You got it. So they're waiting for here, and here
There
it
they
comes.
come. Yeah.
And they will show. Back and forth. Cudahy, Santucci draws 3 defenders, tries to drop it off. Play catch again. Santucci looking for some room. She'll roll dodge off, and yeah, she'll take it right back to the outside.
Look how they worked in about half the distance to the goal, just passing it back and forth, playing a good 2-man game there.
Well, the other thing is be content to make Marlborough make that first move so that they're the one moving the chess piece so that you have that opening, and then and only then do you need to make a move to try to get a goal.
Agreed. Cudahy drops it off for Santucci. Coach Ken Abishon calling out some instructions. 7.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. Leominster with the 12-11 lead and doing a phenomenal job of bleeding clock out here.
Almost 2 minutes of possession here, at least a minute and a half.
Cudahy finds Santucci, left side of the arc, cuts to the center, goes low, steered away by the stick of Rennie. Loose ball picked up by Leominster, and they're still on the attack. And that was one time, Kate, where Rennie turned the stick over and made the stop with the cross.
Yep.
And Leominster calling out a play over on the near side as a team.
Okay. Run
Code.
the wheel.
What's the code?
I don't know that wheel's too Cody.
Miller Ayala tries to find a flashing Howlett. It bounces through the cross, but it is backed up along the end line there. Looked like Ailes. Centering near side, this is Young, struggling. Ball loose in the arc. Still some body contact. Ball is still loose to the right of the cage. And somehow Young, outnumbered, came through with the stick and scooped it up. Leominster still on the attack, passing 6.5 minutes in the 4th quarter.
Great tenacity right there, staying with it.
Been on the attack for almost 4 full minutes. Almost 4 full minutes of clock taken off since that last goal, and Leominster on the attack. They got 6 minutes left to kill.
And this is Cudahy. Takes it around the back of the cage. Panthers letting them travel freely at the moment.
This is one of the frustrating things if you are a viewer at some points in time. If you are taking a look at lacrosse in the early going here, nothing is going to prompt Leominster to have to make a move.
And so they will keep going, and this is to their benefit as long as they can maintain a goal advantage or more. If they find themselves behind in a matter of seconds, peeling off almost 5 minutes and almost 6 now, could eventually become problematic. But it's the risk reward you take. Shorten the game.
You're going to see Marlborough's defense have to get more aggressive. They're going to have to start pushing the issue here sooner rather than later. So I think you're going to see a lot more body contact from Marlborough's defenders if Leominster is continuing to be able to kill the clock, as they've killed 5 full minutes on this possession alone outside that fan.
Rolling down toward the 5-minute mark with a 12-11 lead are the Blue Devils. This is textbook girls lacrosse when you have a 1-goal advantage.
This is the equivalent of the 4-corner stall.
Absolutely.
In basketball, before there was a shot clock.
That's correct. Santucci hangs back out around that fan. Ooh, dangerous pass, but
especially when you have Lauren Lefebvre defending Santucci.
Indeed. And she never pressed the issue past that fan. Didn't want to give up the position. Now here she comes. Lefebvre is going to push Santucci a little bit. As we wind down to the 4.5-minute mark.
They're pulling that defense out.
Yep.
Slowly but surely.
A little pick set by Cudahy. Frees up Santucci. Picks up another defender. Doorstep. Finds Young. Young centering. Miller Ayala shot. And the save for Rennie.
Nice job right there, keeping team in the game.
5.5 minutes off the clock, and yeah.
More problems in transition once again. Panthers were able to ultimately scoop it. It was Carlman finds Christofides.
But Armasinga was the one who was able to disturb the keeper for Marlborough and be able to get that tip.
Christofides, there was a connection there between the sticks. They call Leominster for the violation. Christofides and the Panthers keep possession on the restart.
And now you have to look at both of the Lefebvre sisters with time continuing to tick off the clock here in the waning minutes of the 4th quarter. You're going to have to lean on both of the Lefebvre sisters. They are going to need a couple of goals here in quick succession.
And this is Lauren Lefebvre dancing out to the fan. Santucci all over her like a jersey.
This has been a fascinating.
Absolutely, it has been.
Fascinating.
Bouncing into the arc, it was taken away by Cudahy, and Cudahy finds Santucci, and here comes Leominster. Santucci had bothering behind. It was moving up Francis, but was able to move the ball downfield.
And look for Leominster to slow things right back down and bring that deliberate pace back, because again, Nothing is required of them other than to maintain and retain possession for 3 minutes and 5 seconds.
And the last possession, we remind you, 6 minutes came off the clock.
Yep.
It resulted in no goals, but it successfully took 6 minutes off the clock. Can they take the final 2:55 down here in the fourth quarter?
Marlborough's defense, again, is going to start getting a lot more aggressive, especially outside that fan. They're going to try to force Leominster's attack to do something, do
And you
anything.
can see how much further out they
yeah,
are.
absolutely.
Last possession, they hung around right on the fan line.
Yep.
They are now off that fan line football-wise by almost 10 yards.
1 minute off the clock in this possession for Leominster.
2.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Leominster with the 12-11 lead.
Somebody go under.
It was
Calling out plays.
Gabby go under was the call. I love the team opportunity there. Here's the dish. Miller Ayala flashes inside the fan. Take it back out. 2:10 left here in the fourth. Little difficulty on the connection. Another one. Howlett between her feet. Was able to come up with it and possess. Down to the final 2 minutes here of the fourth quarter.
Marlborough getting a lot more aggressive with the sticks.
And Howlett tries to work her way out of the action, and Coach Ken Abishon spends the timeout. 1:56 to play here in the fourth quarter. Leominster with the 12-11 lead, Kate.
And this is the interesting thing here, because you have a situation where there was no 2020 spring season. You only have a very limited amount of practices here in this truncated spring season for 2021. So these are the types of moments where there are absolutely, as a coaching staff, every single time you go into a game, there are absolutely going to be situations that come up that you've not been able to go over in practice. And so that becomes a situation where if you are Leominster, you need to absolutely take just a minute so that you can make sure that you give explicit instructions to your student athletes so they know exactly what the expectation is, because this is crunch time.
1:56 to play here in the fourth quarter. Leominster with the 12-11 lead right now. This action available on demand later on today. tinyurl.com/media rivalry. It'll be available out there on YouTube, or search youtube.com, search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, subscribe today when we go live. So can you on your smart-enabled device. What action, Bill Thomas, we have been treated to today. Very enjoyable.
And so far, I think that our prophecy so far is going to come true. Leominster scored the last goal here, I believe. And to take this 12-11 lead.
They did at 10:05.
We'll have to see if that last goal stands up as the game winner.
For those of you joining us in live action on Facebook, we apologize for the buffering delays. Hang with us here. We're doing the best we can to try to get you through live all the way to the end on Facebook. If not, it will be available in replay coming up on YouTube. We appreciate your patience. A little bit of cell phone hang up here at historic Doyle Field. Indeed.
We got sunspots.
Yeah, perhaps just a little bit.
Radiational bursts.
We appreciate your patience as we hang in there.
A lot of bars, though.
A little
so I don't
bit,
know what's
yes.
going on.
See where Leominster's
being-
putting the ball in play back here on the back line.
I was going to say, if anybody
Trying to find the ball.
wonders if they throttle your cell phone data plan, the answer to that might be yes.
No. We would never do that.
1:56 to play in the fourth quarter. Bill Thomas playing
unlimited.
the big communications company's character here today. 1:56 to play here in the fourth. 12-11. Right now, Leominster's lead.
We'll give you all the data you want. It's just going to be so slow you can't use it.
That's right.
That's where we're at right now.
Cudahy with control. Cudahy will dance back and forth. She'll drop it off for Santucci. And now for Howlett. Final 98 seconds here of the fourth quarter. Panthers defense are going to be forced to try to keep pressing the issue here. They are marking player on player with no other choice. Leominster's going to have to work in tight, try to maintain possession. Look at the center of the
Look at
field.
the
It is
middle.
wide open.
I noticed that. He'll take a quick peek at it. Not a player in sight, 20 yards, 30 yards from the goalie.
Final minute 10.
You got to bring some of those defenders from the back line out. I mean, you got to get more aggressive here. You can't just chase.
And the whistle as the defense there pushed Leominster back out. And so they will reset. Lefebvre gets sent back away. Cudahy's got some room. Chance here maybe to just cut the action right to the cage if she stepped on the gas. Meanwhile, Santucci for Miller Ayala. Final minute here of the fourth quarter. Leominster with a 12-11 lead. With the space, the shot taken wide by Young, but the backup there on the play owned by Howlett and Leominster. It was Ailes with the initial shot.
You know, I think that's something Leominster can do is just protect the back line with an extra player. They don't need to chase.
Armashinga painted into a corner. That's poked away. And they say Leominster keeps it on the restart. Final 44 seconds here of the fourth quarter.
Keep forgetting we stopped the clock in the last 2 minutes of the half. Sorry about that.
Yeah, there we go. And the clock continues again. Leominster with the 12-11 lead. Press the action. Ooh. This one sent back. Yes, top of the key. They will find Miller Ayala. She raced into the arc and then took it right back out smartly. Under 30 seconds here in the fourth.
You don't need to win by 2 goals.
That's correct. Maintaining possession is the name of the game. Santucci finds Cudahy. Under 20 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Pushed off the play, whistles. The check contact is called. Leominster gets it on the restart. Final 13 seconds here. This is Cudahy. Cudahy will find Santucci. Final 5 seconds here in the fourth. Leominster's bench starts to feel it, cheers their players on, and that's the way the game will end. Leominster goes down 3-0 early, trails, and does not find a lead until 10-9 in the third quarter. And they battle back and forth they go, and ultimately claim a 12-11 victory here on home turf on this Saturday morning. Add also into that important point, Leominster killed 9 minutes by my count in the fourth quarter with a 12-11 lead.
I think they possessed the ball for 9 out of the last 10 minutes, and from about the 10-minute mark, they basically controlled the rest of that fourth quarter.
Final goal of the quarter was scored with 10 minutes and 5 seconds remaining.
Wow, what action, what patience.
And I think from that point on, let's give Molly Jordan all the credit right there for not allowing the Lefebvre sisters to score as the time was winding down and keeping that score at what it was for the last 10 minutes.
Teams head to midfield for a stick salute, well earned on both sides. You see the Lefebvres and Santucci find each other. So does the other Lefebvre sister. I have to imagine they all travel together or have run in some of the same circles. The lacrosse community is a small world, but it's nice to see everybody come together and be able to acknowledge one another as well.
Absolutely.
After a great battle
great
here.
Show of sportsmanship right there.
At historic Doyle Field. Note also, because you mentioned the play of Molly Jordan, I will add in, the keepers in this game, they face a very tall task trying to stop any shot that comes generally in their area. So being successful today, having given up 11 goals, seems antithetical under normal sports circumstance. But she had one very crucial save at a very important point of this game. And that save makes all the difference in the world when you look at things in the long run.
Yeah, and you come back to the last Leominster goal. I think it was off a shot that hit the post, which Leominster turned around into a fast break and came down and scored. So that's how quickly the momentum can turn around. That ball goes in the goal there, and Marlborough's got another tally on the board. But sometimes the post and the goaltender's best friends.
The tide can change in an instant, and for Leominster today, they battled back and came over the top. 12-11, Leominster a winner here today. They improved their overall record to 3-2 through their first 5 games. Panthers played phenomenally well today, and unfortunately fall to 0-3 through their first 3 games of action. For Leominster, coming up next week, they've got some more intense action here. They've got Neshoba, and then once again at the top team, Tingsboro. See if they're still undefeated when they do battle next Thursday as well. For Marlborough, they've got almost another week off. Friday, May the 21st, they play Neshoba, 3:30 in the afternoon at home. Long layoffs for the Panthers with the way their schedule has set up over the last so many weeks as well. We've got plenty more action for you coming up here on Rivalry Family Media. You join us coming up next Wednesday here at historic Doyle Field on the upper side. It's baseball action, Leominster and Fitchburg in the Rivalry Baseball Edition. That game, first pitch slated for 7 o'clock, will be on the air at 10 minutes till right here on Rivalry Family Media. Looking forward to bringing you that one here, facebook.com/media Rivalry. We appreciate your patience through some of those technical difficulties. If you joined us live and now you're catching us in replay to see the conclusion. That's why we make these games available as well. Not much of a technological marvel other than Kate trying to hold the wires together and adjust the coat hanger in order to be able to bring
and
things in.
I was spinning her around in her chair at the same time.
But we appreciate your patience with that one. As always here on Rivalry Family Media, we thank you so very much for being a part of our family. Where once again the final score, Leominster 12 and Marlborough 11. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us. And until Wednesday night, so long, everybody.